Jamie here, JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Thursday, August 28th, 3:38 on this fine afternoon. I actually don't have my charts up, at least the daily ones. I have intraday 1 minute candles flying on the screens right now. Talk really quick about the market, some names I'm looking at, go from there. Uh, I guess you called today's a good session, right? Because kind of got past the NVIDIA earnings and you see headlines already. Markets rallying on NVIDIA's pullback. It's like NVIDIA's down barely 0.5%, almost went green a little while ago. SPY all the way up to 649, down here at 648 and change. So set things up for 650 tomorrow. So after NVIDIA, jobless claims this morning, GDP, all positive in regards to a recession, right? Or lack thereof. Lower than expected jobless claims. You also had the higher revision on the GDP data. And then tomorrow's PCE. And it's now you almost see the headlines like folks are expecting a hot number. It's like 3.0, which would be the highest uh, monthly PC read since like March of 2024. That's kind of like the expectations, which should be a little higher than expectation. So I think it's like even if it comes in hotter, I don't think it does much to the markets. And if it comes in cooler, market's just going to go. SPY will be 651, 652, if not higher. If there's some kind of crazy surprise, obviously there'll be some tweets from Trump talking about firing more folks on the Bureau of Labor Statistics or whatever. Uh, Joking aside, or maybe not joking, probably some weakness in the market. So I don't think that'll be the case. Maybe a 15% probability is that, but I think we set things up into the weekend. SPY near 650 or so. So good day. I had it on the watch list this morning. I was looking for some sympathy moves. Some of the names I might play off NVIDIA's monster report. Broadcom, Arista Networks. So Arista Networks was down at 130 at the open, and I'm trying to get like 136 calls, 137 calls, and the spreads were wide. It was like 5 cents by a dollar, and they didn't tighten up for the first couple of minutes. So I kept going up until some of them start to show some liquidity. I went I was looking at 136s. My thought process here is like number one, people don't usually look for Arista Networks for a move on sympathy name, sympathy move in regards to other names, right? And then number two, I mean the option market looks inexpensive and the chart looks good. I mean, it's just at 140, I just pulled back. So I was looking at 137s, 138s, finally pulled the trigger on those 139s. Within a matter of like 15 minutes, was able to close some out. Well, actually less than that, 7 minutes. Was able to close some out for over 100%. And then it started to reverse, and then I'm watching, I'm like, are we going to have some kind of sell the news now? Is there going to be a red to green, a green to red event on some of these names? So once it started to pull back under 134, actually was, I think it was 134 and change. Still had some premiums on the call, so I locked some more out just to lock the profits in. I mean, they were under my entry, but still enough to kind of offset further losses. And then it started to bounce, got back up to 136, but the calls were still in the red. So happy to have locked those in. Still a name I might revisit tomorrow just because I think there might be some continuation. And I think it's a good sympathy name to trade that has lower premiums. Because on the flip side, I was looking at Broadcom, and to try even trade for the 310 calls was almost unplayable for at least how I trade them. And maybe the play was yesterday, but even that, yesterday's the calls were expensive. So if you look at the 310 strikes, they're 284 by 280. I mean, they're up 76%. So yesterday there were 160, and the stock was at maybe close at 301. So it's not the type of risk reward I like to trade for that, or at least the expensiveness part of it, right? If it was 20 cents, 30 cents, things like that. So that was the rest of networks. And then, I mean, just other names. First serve disappointing. Looked like it was going to break out dipped in the morning, back up to 1190, then back down to like 1150, back up to 1170. And now it just seems like the shorts are trying to take control here today. Disappointing. I mean, I locked a lot of the October strikes in yesterday, so that's a good thing. So at least maybe use some of that to some of those profits to roll higher strikes in. I'll be patient here. Still love this story. Of course, I don't have my daily chart. I can pull it up. The thing about yesterday's action on Serve, it got over its 50 and 200-day moving average. So now you look at the 200-day moving average is 1091. So hopefully it'll close above that today. It's need a 30-cent drop here in 17 minutes. I don't think that'll happen. Marijuana names going. CGC, monster move. It's up 23% here. My January strikes are up nearly 100% now. Lock more of my October strikes in for 200%, still holding some of those. And then I was looking for further higher strikes because, like I was saying this morning on I forget what other names I was talking about. It's like sometimes I guess even Serve Robotics, right? By the time, once it really starts to break out, you're going to want to have gotten some inexpensive calls, right? Further out of the money. Because even if it doesn't hit, so, for example, if I went and got served $20 strikes for January, even if it doesn't go to $20 by January, it could go to 16 by late September, October, and the 20 strikes can be a couple 100%. Same with CGC. I mean, I have the January threes. I can get the April $4 calls. That strikes I'm looking at is probably out to April 2026. Probably not going to hold them out to them, but if it does get some momentum, and we've seen what some of these names have done in the sector before, and CGC was 10, $12. Not saying it goes back there, but if it gets to $3, $4, any of those strikes that are further out, especially if it happens in September, October, January of April strikes 2026 are going to be up thousands of percent. So small risk, very small risk, very high possible reward, right? That's the ideal scenario. So and history is sometimes a great indicator of the future, right? I mean, past results, I'm not saying it's indicative of 100%, but there's opportunity, and there's been opportunity before that's turned into some nice multi-baggers. So that's CGC. So now I'm riding on some nice profits. I'll continue to hold those. I was happy not to have to stare at it for a while. I kept saying, especially last week too, it's only a matter of time before there's some kind of news that comes out that sparks the sector. Other names I'm staring at, sometimes, time is finite, right? You only have a certain amount of time in a day, certain amount of seconds, minutes to stare at an individual name, the chart, the fundamentals, the news, all those different things. So it's important to have some names that you look at that provide great trades. Reddit has been one of them. And sometimes I feel like, especially recently, I'm wasting too much time watching it for an entry. And last week, I think I had posted those, the call prices, just kind of give it as a reference of, okay, stocks at 215, the 230 strikes are 27 cents. Let's see what happens as it moves up. And those turned to go out flat, and then we had the reversal and down all the way to 208 by the end of the week. And here again today, I mean, I was looking at 235s. Those actually are up nicely today, but I think they were 45 cents at times. I don't even know what they are now. They went all the way up to 70, 235s are 49 by 61. So they're up 134% today. But then I was looking at the 240s. Those were 22 cents, 20 cents. They're back down to 22 cents, up to 35. So it's a lot of mental energy and time wasted on watching that name. I still think it heads to $300. So at some point, maybe I'll look for some later dated strikes. I'm like, well, instead of trying to just watch on a intraday basis or intra-minute basis, why don't you try and go out and get like the September 300s? And the September 300s are like 45 by 70. So widespread, maybe I can get those at 65, 60 cents. That's a thought there. So we'll see how the market does tomorrow after PCE data. There's no reason to rush into it. The thing is, though, you look at the September strikes, and all the September strikes on the 6% move, they're all up 70%, 80%. So, and then you go out to October, and those are up 40%, 50%. 300 strikes in October, expensive, 320 by 330. So probably it's not my cup of tea there. I'm trying to think of some of these other names that I've been watching. CGC, Serve Robotics, disappointing. We'll see if that one, at least it holds. Pool, right? So, I was talking about this morning, you want to see higher highs and higher lows. Right now, it almost looks like it might be lower highs and lower lows. I hope 310 holds. My September strikes down, spreads are a little rough on the calls anyway, so it's tough to tell exactly what you can get closed out on. I'll just continue to hold them. I think it's just going to need a kick in the butt, whether it's the market, whether it's rates going down, or some kind of analyst upgrade. That would be nice. Lessons for other quarters and earnings. I mean, MDB, right? I was all over that thing for the last 2 months, trading in the lottos of Liberation Day, after Liberation Day, into its last earnings. And then this is the one that, and I looked, and, I always have to rationalize trades, and, the 270 strikes for like $2. If you told me in hindsight that it was going to 320 by Thursday, we still have one more day to expiration, I would have told you you're crazy, right? Pending a buyout or M&A or something like that. And here it is. Stock closed at 214 on Tuesday. It's at $320 on Thursday. 2 days later, with 12 minutes left in the end of the day. So those are the kind of moves that, massive multi-baggers, that'll make your week, month, right? Some of those, the United Healthcare week ahead, like those are the weeks that can make your month. And then, there'll be a couple days, couple weeks where you struggle, you prod wrong, you just make sure you control your risk. If you don't see opportunities, you don't just chase things, and then you wait for the next big one. So there's always big ones, just a matter of finding them. Preparation, opportunity equals luck. So hopefully there'll be some more luck down the road. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll see. I was looking possibly, again, it does make sense for me to add lottos into tomorrow, but at the same time, Reddit, the similar names I'm looking into tomorrow that might run if we do get a decent PCE data. So that's it. I'm trying to think of oh, Line Technologies, right? It's another one of those names, disappointing. End of the week strong was 150, 149.50 on Monday, and then just maybe the buyback, they paused it. I don't know. And here it is at 141. I still think at some point that's going to have a massive bounce. It typically does. It has in the past. Um, Zoom disappointing. After the bump on Friday and then continuation Monday and Tuesday, and then it's just been Monday, and it's been nothing ever since. I mean, it's back over 80. So maybe too divisive of a name to try and trade calls on. So I'll probably put that on the uh, to be determined list. I think that's it, folks. So have a great day. I'll be back. Rock and roll.